CNN hosting Joe Biden for a town hall session. Joe Biden was asked, "Are you a firm supporter of the Green New Deal? And how will you make sure our communities are protected?" Let's tune in to see what he has to say on the subject.
We're going to invest in close to $1 trillion over time, in the near time, for infrastructure. We're going to build green infrastructure. For example, I propose that we spend $100 billion on making sure our schools have the right ventilation, making sure schools, in fact, are safe.
And what planet is Joe Biden on? He goes on a tangent about how he's going to spend $100 billion on school ventilation when posed a question about the Green New Deal. Now, $100 billion can be a tough number to wrap your head around, so let's go ahead and compare that to the discretionary spending levels that we saw in 2019 under President Trump. Now, what we see here is that $730 billion is allocated towards the U.S. military, making up 53% of discretionary spending. What we see with the rest of the dollars spent, the remaining 47%, is that it's distributed across government, housing, and community. So think federal housing projects, our veterans, so important, healthcare, education, etc. So Joe Biden wants to take $100 billion to put in new ventilation systems for our schools. To all of our veterans who are watching, we're really sorry. I know you got hit by that IED when we sent you off to Afghanistan or Iraq, and you require lifelong medical care now, but we're going to have to put you on the back burner because the intermediate school down the road needs a new HVAC system because Joe Biden said so. Clearly, Joe lost track of what the question was. It appears that he was answering a COVID-19 question that was never asked of him. So he started talking about randomly investing $100 billion to make sure that schools have ventilation systems. Age is an absolute factor for Joe Biden. At 77 years old, he has lost his fastball. The campaign has wore him down, despite the fact that he has been off the campaign trail for the majority of the past 6 months. Poll numbers started to slip. His campaign knows he has to be out there communicating with the American public, and this is what happens when he's forced to talk off script, no teleprompter handy, taking a question from an audience member. Just cannot handle it. The final 46 days of the Joe Biden campaign are going to be a disaster as the grueling days get longer. He's going to be forced to debate Donald Trump, and I cannot imagine how he's going to be able to hold up with the mental fatigue that he's showing after spending several months off the campaign trail. It's going to be interesting to watch. I've got no doubt that this is going to end poorly for Joe Biden.